this bridge lives the largest urban community of bats in the world. You can actually smell them right now. I can. They're a little reminiscent of a warm corn tortillas. Who's down for Mexican after this? Huh? No? Okay. And if you listen really closely, you can actually hear them. That squeaking you hear, I'll be quiet for a second so you can hear. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Hey, guy waving.
Welcome to Austin!
I live here! Alright, anyway, the squeaking that you hear is actually called colony chatter. The bats live up in these cracks right here. Those are expansion gaps that were left when the bridge was remodeled in 1980. They're about an inch and a half wide. I encourage you to look up, but don't look up and all. Cover your drinks. The bridge was remodeled in 1980 and they left the expansion gaps. They're about an inch and a half wide, 20 inches deep, really hot and humid up there. And they happen to be the perfect environment for the Mexican free-tailed bat. And actually, within a year of remodeling, we were at full capacity. We get about 1,000 people per night who come out and watch these bats. They line up all across the Congress Street Bridge, hang out in the park over by the Statesman, all the public docks. I totally see people pirating the Radisson parking garage. It's a really big event here. But I'm not going to get into my bat narration yet because it's much more fun for me to tell you tons of facts while the bats are coming out. So it's going to be big. And Captain Dave is going to position himself perfectly so you guys can see it. Yes.
Oh, there they go.
Alright, so I'll just start in right now, guys. You are looking at the largest urban community of bats in the world. Under this bridge is 1.5 million Mexican free-tailed bats. Situation is that the type of rabies these bats contract is actually a paralytic type, meaning within 24 hours of contracting the disease, these bats actually become paralyzed and fall to the ground. If they do not go out hunting for 2 consecutive nights in a row, they will die. So these bats don't actually have the disease long enough to give it to the rest of the company. So all of the bats, every bat you see flying right now is rabies-free. I like that a lot. But it wasn't about the rabies situation that Dr. Merlin Tuttle told us about that really got us on the bats team. It was when he told us all about their diet. Because these bats, of course, are insectivores, meaning they eat small flying insects, and a majority of which are mosquitoes. To give you an idea of how much, it's anywhere in between 10 to 30,000 pounds per night. That is as much as this boat weighs. That's a lot of mosquitoes. Can you imagine how many cans of bug spray you'd have to buy in 1980? I can't even imagine being alive then. Alright. I'm such a baby. Alright, so some cool things about this colony. They are here from March till November. This year they were actually here a little early, the end of February, and they usually stay about mid-November whenever we get our first cold, because all 750,000 bats that come to the bridge in March, and all the ones that are flying right now, actually, they're all female and they're all pregnant. This is a maternity ward. So these are all recent mothers because they've already had their babies. The first 2 weeks in June, every single bat gives birth to one. So they are super strong mamas. Now, first 2 weeks of June, they all give birth at the same time. They're actually able to delay gestation until all the bats are ready to give birth at the same time. It's crazy. Now, 1/3 of their weight, they don't even sleep that day. They cuddle with their baby and they really get to know their scent and their sound. And then they transport their baby, the pup, to the northern end of the bridge. That's the nursery. We'll stash them up there and then they'll go hunting for 7 hours. That's what they're doing right now. About 3 times per night, they'll come back and nurse their young. But the cool part is they can actually identify their own individual, a careless pup out of 750,000 identical baby bats by scent and sound alone within 2 minutes. It is really amazing. So they're super strong and they're super smart, and they have retail bat is the fastest flying bat species out of all the bat species. We've got more! Right now, while they're out hunting, they're flying anywhere in between 25 and 35 miles per hour. But they can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour. While they're migrating back to central Mexico, that's where they hang out in the winter. They're much smarter than us. Yeah, what's up? Good question. I knew someone was going to ask me that. Gentleman over here just asked me, where are the dads? That's a good question. Now, clearly, it's as far away from 750,000 pregnant females as possible. I kid. I have the real answer to this. Male bats actually like smaller communities of bats in a less hot, humid climate. The bats are getting pregnant in Mexico and then flying here to have their babies, but they've recently discovered that the females are getting pregnant after a drunken night on 6th Street. That was funny. 6th Street is like, it's alright. Yes! I know, they're so they stop and then they go to a different colony.
What?
Yes, they do eventually die. Their lifespan is about 8 years after the first year of life. There's a 50% chance of death during the first year of life. This is because if one of the mothers dies while they are during the nursing period, during those first 5 weeks before the baby can feed itself, the rest of the colony will not take care of that baby. They only take care of their own individual baby, so that pup is on its own and usually passes away. But, and also once they start flying, they're not very smart. They won't fly with the flight pattern, and then they often get caught by predators. But if they can make it past their first year of life, usually 8 years. As you can see there, it's started to get heavier again. Like I said, it goes in like waves. They're all over the place. Now, has anybody gotten any drops on them? I just got hit.
They're bigger.
By a scratch.
They're like, they kind of look like crows. They're shiny crows.
So now you guys can see how fast they're flying. They're flying 25 to 35 miles per hour, just whipping around those pylons. These bats are actually really, really small. They only weigh a couple grams, and they can fold up in the palm of your hand. They're not the smallest bat, though. Does anyone know what the smallest bat is? It's the bumblebee bat. It's actually the size of your thumbnail.
Yeah.
Super tiny. Does anyone know what the largest bat is? No? It's Batman. Justice. That was a horrible Batman impression.
That puts it into the creepy phase.
Yeah.
You can hear they're still squeaking much louder right now. Actually, they get louder as they're starting to
They're
come
not
out.
under this
If you
bridge.
pay attention to the cracks, you might see one drop.
They
See,
need bigger
they're dropping.
cracks.
It's so cool. Look, they dropped.
It's like little chickens.
Yeah, because I walked underneath the bridge right over there to get them. I could hear them before they
This is
started.
the best view of the bats. From the water, you can see them much better than the bridge. Right?
They could be down there. Let's find out.
All right. Again, look up. Don't look up and up. I know one of these days I'm gonna actually look up and on. It's gonna happen. I'm crying on the mic. I'll get pity tips.
Oh, it's like a highway.
You can see they're coming out from both sides of the bridge, but they generally go to that side after they come out of their cracks. I was just shine a light up there. You can see millions of bats. They all hang on to each other, actually.
That guy's on in the canoe.
Oh, God.